So I've been working on this special project for a e-commerce brand. They sell men's karas, which looks like something like this. And the problem that they're facing is that even though it's a high volume product, like they sell a lot of these, a lot of these products are returned because unfortunately the sizing usually never matches. Give me one moment. Let me grab this guy right here. So essentially what happens is a lot of people who buy this product end up returning it because the size of the bangle that they purchase online usually doesn't fit their wrist. All right, and this happened with me as well. So when I first purchased like the kara, I thought like, hey, I wear a small t-shirt, I'm a small kind of guy so why not I just buy the small size. But that actually is not true, because this is never going to fit. This is the small bangle size, by the way, the kara size, and it's not going to fit. It's never going to fit. All right, and I was like, hey, how can we reduce the rate of returns? Obviously, number one primary objective, reduce the rate of returns of these karas that are purchased online, right? And how could we help people find the right kara size? So then I spent some time researching different resources, articles, and different ways to you could measure your wrist and make the right purchase. And it all seemed a little bit confusing to me at first, and I was thinking, what could be a better way to find the right size, like how do you make a better informed purchase decision? So I actually found out that our hands, so we have let me just get back to this. So this is your wrist size, right? And this is basically your largest point of your hand. And whenever you put your kara on or the bangle on, it has to go through this, right? So you can squeeze your hand like this, like you can squeeze it like this and try turning it and pushing it in. But again, this is the medium size, and this is not going to fit me. It would be a nightmare to remove, and I don't want to go through that trauma. So this is the large size, and this is a little bit easy. I can just like wriggle my wrist, and there you go. I now have the kara on my wrist, with little to less force, on my entire wrist being compressed and stuff like that. And then to remove it, I can easily also again compress my wrist and then slowly kind of tweak it. It does hurt a little bit, but yeah, that's how you can remove and put it. So first thing what I did was I had written down what is the circumference, right, of my wrist. So my wrist is about 6.1 inches or 17 centimeters, right? And that is this part of my wrist, right? And the largest part is about 1.5 inches or 2 inches more. So if this is 6 inches, this is 8 inches in circumference. All right, so which gave me an idea that, hey, if you're buying now obviously this can vary, right? This is only one sample size. Like my hand is just one sample size to make this thesis or assumption. My assumption is that if your wrist size is X, right, your bangle size that you should buy is X plus 2 inches or X plus 1.5 inches, so that it can easily come through. So again, then what I did was I took a measuring tape and I measured my wrist. I measured what's the the largest point. So the largest point, you could say diameter wise, if you were going to consider calculating the diameter of this kara. So the diameter over here is showing about 2.8 for the large, 2.8 inches. All right, and we can confirm that by just taking a look on the website that they have over here. It should be right here. So yeah, large is showing 2.12. I'm not sure if this is a mistake on the website, because I think this should be 2.08, 2.10, 2.12. I'm not sure if if this is a mistake, but on my scale or at least my measuring tape, it seems to be 2.8 for the large. All right, so 2.8, you match that with this. Let's say this is the largest, right? Largest point over here. That's about 4 inches. 2.8 and 4, right? So we have 2.80, which is the large, and my wrist size over here is 4 inches. All right, inches. So difference is 4 minus 2.8, which is 1.20 inches different. All right, now I'm not saying that this would be the difference in all wrist sizes and bangle sizes that you need to find. It would definitely vary, but what I am understanding is, if people wanted to find their bangle size in an easy way, when you're especially buying something online from an e-commerce store, right, you wouldn't know. So right now we're creating like a motion graphic video that will help them choose the right kata size in about 60 seconds. So this is the script that I was preparing, and I'm just building the storyboard over here right now, so that we can design this entire motion graphic video. So the three particular ways that I feel that might make sense. One is you can use a scale, a ruler, basically. So same thing, which is using a ruler to maybe find out what's your wrist size, right, on your hand. So method one is basically take a ruler, take a measuring tape, and find out what's the size of your wrist. All right, so let's say the wrist size over here is equal to, for me it's around 6.1 inches. That means bangle size should be 6.1 plus 1.5. Hold on one second, I'm just going to make sure. Kata size, yeah, so plus 1.5. all right, this should be the factor. So if it's 6, then 1.5. So this is obviously in circumference, right? So 6.1. Now let's see which bangle size, how big is the large, right? If we are able to, one moment, find out. Okay, I'll just take it from the outside. It's okay. Just trying to get an approximate, right? So this is coming to almost 9.5. Okay, this large kata. And let's say if you were taking it to consideration from the inside, around here, coming to around 8. Large kata is basically coming to 8.4 inches. All right, the inner circumference of the large kata. Now 6.1 plus 1.5 is 7.6 inches. All right, the large kata is about 8.4. all right, I mean, obviously these are not very accurate figures, but with a little bit of wriggling, right, you can like compress your wrist a little bit, and somehow you'll definitely be able to get the kata on your wrist. All right, so what I'm assuming is between 1.5 to 2 inches extra should be the factor to choose the right kata size. All right, and I'm not sure, I'll have to make sure that is this considered loose or is it considered fitting? Because I'm pretty sure the fitting one would be the small size, but small will never go through, right? This is medium, and I don't want to take the risk of putting on the medium one because it's slightly scary, and I'm already getting like a little bit of marks on my wrist, as you can see right there, and yeah, I don't want that to happen. So point here with this study or this conclusion is that for these karas, whatever you measure your wrist with, right? I'm assuming 1.5 to 2 inches extra you should catch, and that's the purchase that you should make on the website. So let's say I found out that my wrist size is 6 inches in circumference. I think it's very important to then look at the chart over here. All right, 6 inches. Let's see, 6 diameters. Okay, I found out something very important over here on the client's website. Number one thing is that this chart needs to be updated. All right, it needs to, it's from a customer standpoint, this is a bit hard to understand. All right, from an e-commerce customer standpoint, people don't usually have the time when they're making an impulse purchase, especially for a product like this, low ticket price for the product. So it's usually an impulse purchase, so people are probably not gonna go through this. And also, since this image is the last image from the bangles, it is probably not the best place to keep this image positioned. It should probably be your opened up in the description size over here. Now my point here is this chart currently suggests that if your 2.25 inches, if your widest point is X amount, you should catch 2 to 4. I can't read it properly, but it's reading 2 to 4 inches extra that you should catch. All right, so yeah. Okay, so anyways, these numbers need to be updated over here because these metrics aren't the right metrics over here. They would need to be changed to either inches. I'm not sure if 2.12 makes sense for me. Very hard to understand. So yeah, I guess the easy way to kind of do it, I guess, since we're making this motion graphic video, is if your wrist size is equal to between 6 to 7 inches, then take a large. Make it simple. If your wrist size is 6 or 7, buy a large. If your wrist size is equal to maybe 4 or 5 inches, then maybe take a small a medium, right? Sorry, 5 to 6, 6 being the upper limit, take a medium. Maybe 4 to 5, actually 4 to 5 will be a medium. And if your wrist size is okay, I guess wrists don't increase in like inches. It will be very hard to be like, hey, my wrist is 1 inch bigger than yours. Wrist size is maybe 3. I can't imagine a 3-inch wrist. That would be like this, right? I think the medium wrist size, let's say 6, right? I think the medium wrist size is around 6. So yeah, I don't think this is the right thing. I think if your largest point in hand is, so this is, let's say this is 8. Yeah, so let's say if this is 8, then take a large. Maybe if it's 7.5, then take a medium. If it's maybe 6.5, then take a small. it should be something like this, is what I'm understanding. So because what I've understood is that wrists don't decrease below a certain point. I don't think anyone's gonna have a wrist probably less than at least for men. I don't think it would be less than 4 inches. 4 inches might be like the most smallest size, right? Unless you're a kid. I mean, kids might have a smaller wrist size, maybe 3.5 or something like that. So yeah, and this small exercise will allow me to craft a better motion graphic video, because we're trying to find 3 different sizes. So one way is using the tape method. The second method that we found out is using the thread method. So you take a piece of thread and you wrap it around your wrist like as such. So let me hold this like this and wrap it around the wrist like that. This is the largest size, correct? And okay, wait, let me just pull, right? And we'll take this. This is the part of the string. So what we'll do is we'll now measure this string on using a piece of paper. So I'm just holding it in my hand right now. So let's take a new piece of paper. So we have this string, all right, and it's almost the size of this piece of paper. All right, I'm going to take a pencil and mark it here. Okay. And then I will take my measuring tape and measure it. What is the size of this paper? Surprisingly, it's about 8, right? And if I were to use this measuring tape any which ways, right, about 8, right, 8.5, maybe a little bit more, 8.5. The most accurate method is the scale, right? So let's just write scale or your measuring tape equals most accurate. All right, second is the thread method, which is use a piece of thread and then use a ruler, right? So basically this is like a ruler only, but I don't have a ruler right now. So if I'm measuring, it's 8, that means i.e. 8 inches is the largest point. Hence, if it's 8 and we fall between the size of 8, that means large, okay? So obviously maybe between 7 to 8 inches we can go for a large. All right, and the third method is actually the paper method. So what you can do is you take a piece of paper, all right, and then again wrap it around your wrist. So obviously this paper is not big enough, but this is the largest midpoint, and it's about the size of this paper. This paper itself is about 8 inches in its width in this particular orientation. So third method over here